Welcome everyone. We're going to be talking about ECI or EBI, Early Contractor Involvement or Early Builder Involvement in the pre-construction phase, which is by far and away the most important part or phase of the construction process. And we've got Craig DeCourcy on the call. I honestly believe that in maybe 3, 5, 8 years from now, every builder is going to be using this process because of the benefits to all the stakeholders. It's going to help raise standards in the industry. Big problem is at the moment is price shock. Recently, price shock has been so severe that I've heard as much as 70% of designs aren't getting built. Big problem equals a big solution, right? Charging for quotes goes a long way down the path, but this is sales process and marketing optimization through a process that ensures the person's budget aligns with what they eventually spend. This value management process is ensuring that we eliminate the casualties. The 70% of people that spend time and money that never ever get their build done, and it saves people money.
Temper everyone's expectations right at the start, making sure we're price checking as we go. We're offering valuable and accurate pricing, not quantity surveyor pricing. We're offering everyday pricing that we know. The client trusts that. The architect loves it because we don't get too far down the line. We do a concept phase, so we get the concept drawings and we'll do a concept range of pricing. And from there, we work out where the client's budget sits, and I guide it with how much work I need to do to get to that client's budget through the next phase, which is the value management phase, right? So the client hasn't wasted money on engineering and all these things before they actually know that it can be built. We look at the buildability and say, okay, you're well over budget, right? Let's have a look at the concept right now before we get all the way down to the end of the line and we can't build it. Then they work out, okay, there's a fair bit of work to do, and we get to work, right? And we start to either reduce things. Hey, we might even add things if the budget's on track. All of a sudden you're building the relationship between all the key stakeholders.
At the front end, before you start building, when you're dealing with a prospective client that's not a client yet, you need to educate them on the fact that price shock is a real thing, that it's important for you to get the numbers right, and that you have a best practice process for ensuring accuracy with the numbers so they get what they want, right? So how do you actually price a concept? Because that's step one with your process.
Now, how you do the concept price is whether you're set up personally or you can outsource that too, that concept pricing. And that's tailored to your need. Once they get that price, I'll follow back up with them, and that will lead into stage 2, the actual big chunk of work, which could be 6 months of work, 9 months of work, depending on where they're at. If they want to enter stage 2, we'll get their budget, and from there I can work out the cost it's going to take them from the concept phase right through to working drawings and to build the thing. So that's the initial stage. One meeting. Any questions or RFIs I have, so there might be, after I've looked into the concept plans, there might be RFIs I have to go back to the client, the architect with about certain aspects of the project, so I get a better understanding. From there, I produce them a concept range and price. This helps construction so much. There's not so many hidden surprises.
There's a 10% quicker, smoother, because there's less inefficiency. Client education process you take them through to communicate the value. So do you want to share that? Like what resources do you use?
Send them basically the welcome pack, or basically our sort of mission statement, what we can do, capture that in the initial phase, and then with that is the whole pre-construction services element. So your stage 1, 2, 3 is all captured in the doc, and that clearly explains what we do from start to finish.
Clients are one thing,
yeah.
But what about the architects? Like, where's the value to them, and what's your process for educating the architects and how they responded to this?
If you can get a couple of architects on board that believe in your process, that know that it gives them value, 100% see the benefit, and really won't do a project any other way. They'll understand about redraws, drawing something that doesn't get built, how that makes them look, at the end of a project, right? They see the value in it.
Client, because in order for the value management process to work, they have to be honest with you. So that they're having to share what's important to them, how much money they want to spend. And as you go through that process and you make 12 or 15 changes all the way through to the final design, you've established a relationship, delivered multiple touch points of value, to the point where how can anyone go out to tender or want to work with another builder? It's just like, it's not going to happen, which is why it doesn't. Think about the relationships that you have with people in the industry. Sharing, right? Sharing information, and then there's non-competing stakeholders.
Yeah.
That's what an architect is. Same client as a builder, but you're not competing. Then you need each other. Okay, and I want to thank everyone for joining the call.